Just when you thought NASCAR Nextel Cup racing couldn't get any wilder, here we are at Talladega with a brand new race car. For the first time ever, they're racing the car of tomorrow on a restrictor plate racetrack, so the great unknown of Talladega has become just a little bit greater. And with chasers scattered all over the field, any wreck, whether great or small, could have a huge impact on the championship chase. As soon as the chase field was set for the Nextel Cup, the championship contenders marked the date of the Talladega race on their calendars. It's one of 2 wild card races in the 10-race run for the Cup, but there have already been 3 wild races coming into this so-called wild card. And all drivers and teams are on the edge of their seats, wondering just how wild this 500-miler at Talladega will be. Hamlin finds himself at the bottom of the chase standings and can't afford to get caught up in trouble. On the other side of the chase, Carl Edwards is off to a hot start, but one bad stroke of luck on NASCAR's biggest track could strike a serious blow to his championship hopes. NASCAR racing since 1969, it just doesn't get any bigger than Talladega.
Very important to remember what happens here in restrictor plate racing. It takes them almost an entire lap to get to full speed, and during this lap they are all so close together with that hammer down and throttling wide open.
And Jerry, they practiced a couple days here with about 20 cars at a time in a racetrack, and never have they had 43 cars in a racetrack at one time. And now what's going to happen begins right now.
David Gilliland gets pushed down below the yellow line. It's not a penalty as long as he doesn't advance his position.
Right now, you ought to see him 3 wide. This is a brand new repaved racetrack, a lot of grip. The cars are handling real well, and they're really accelerating up in the draft. That's what a lot of drivers are saying, but they can't see out of the cars good.
Got these Toyotas up front. There goes Dave Blaney.
And Andy, there's been a lot of concern about these Toyotas right now because they were all in qualifying form. Are the cars going to handle? I expect 4 or 5 laps to hold on pretty good, if not longer, but then probably the handling is going to change.
Look at this high lane. They are 3 wide up on the 33-degree banks. Blaney led the first lap, by the way. Michael Waltrip trying to hang on 3 lanes of drafters at 190+ miles an hour.
Before this race started, all the drivers were talking, you know, be careful, be careful. So I expect they're trying to do that right now, at least to the first pit stop, Andy.
Brad Vickers, they're just barely touching the guy in front of him. They're already doing this bump drafting.
Up high, some of the Dodges trying to hook up on the move. There's a Toyota Waltrip moving up high.
Well, this is the first time Michael Waltrip's been able to take his car and keep it up front in a long time. It's good to see that.
Now, he's loving this. Now, he's going to be racy today. I talked to him. He's really pumped up about this race.
Take a look at Bobby Labonte right up the center in the middle of the racetrack right now. Dave Blaney takes the lead.
Bobby Labonte driving the 43 car for the King Richard Petty. He won here in '98. Talking about Labonte, he's in the middle group. Tony Stewart now trying to pull the high draft up to be in contention.
In this center lane and the top lane, everybody's saying it's going to be the fast way around the racetrack with that momentum built up. It looked right now, bumper to bumper.
It looks like his outside lane got seized up a little bit. And you see these Toyotas now. Michael Waltrip in the middle. Dave Blaney in the 22 car.
Brian Vickers, who won this race a year ago, is his first and to date only NASCAR Nextel Cup win in the 83 car. That's Vickers in the Toyota. And he will pull up and lead as they come by this time.
You know, the Toyotas qualify really well, but boy, can they handle good? That's a big concern right now. But take a look at Ryan Newman. He's pulling this train right through the center, right up behind Dave Blaney right now. And you know what? The way they qualify doesn't mean a darn thing right now. It's all about how they draft.
That is Ryan Newman in the 12 car. You see they are 3 wide up front. It's Toyota side with Toyota. 83 is Vickers, 55 Michael Waltrip.
You see Michael Waltrip, that 55 car, he's using that mirror. He was in that center lane, and he saw Bobby Labonte in the 43 car moving up. He just moved his car right up in front of the 43, and he got the big push, and you see him get the lead.
Yeah, but Andy, you make you wonder how good can they see out of the back of these cars. All these drivers we're talking about, we can't see the hand signals. They're really struggling with it. Alan?
Talking about Michael Waltrip in that 55 car. Michael, of course, has achieved his greatest success in NASCAR on the super speedways like Daytona and Talladega. Winning the Daytona 500 a couple of times, Michael has confidence that he knows what to do with a car in a draft. What do you know? Some guys are just better in a draft than others. Michael believes this is his forte. He's showing it right now.
And Alan, it's awful good to see Michael Waltrip back up in the lead right now. The guy definitely knows how to run in the speedways. But take a look at right now Martin Truex. He's just tapping the rear bumper to 43 car Bobby Labonte, and look how much faster it makes him go. A lot of momentum there.
Martin Truex started back in 13th position. Now watch the bump drafting in the telemetry here, 194 miles an hour. All the way up to 4th spot, now trying to move by and sail by the 55 car of Waltrip for the lead.
That middle lane and that top lane seems like it's had a lot of momentum, and that's how he just passed him with that momentum in the bump draft around the outside. We have to see how it shakes out today.
See the Ryan Newman car, number 12, going backwards in the outside lane.
Yeah, it looks like he just lost a lot of speed right there. He continued to slow down a little bit. I don't know if he got a handling issue with that car, got out of shape, or what was that last time by.
Whoa, Jamie McMurray getting a big push here now from Kevin Harvick.
Kevin Harvick started back in 37th position, and folks, here at lap 5, he is contending for the lead.
And take a look at Robbie Gordon right in front of Harvick. He just got a big push by Harvick on that one. Michael Waltrip pulls it behind him, and boy, that car, Robbie Gordon and Jamie McMurray, almost look identical on the racetrack, Jerry. We have to watch that one.
More on Kevin Harvick with Mike.
Well, you know, Doc, there were a lot of concerns coming into this race, and one of them was the heat and the temperatures underneath the hood because of the draft. Well, I spoke with Todd Barrier, Kevin Harvick's crew chief, earlier this morning, and he said one thing they are doing to counter the temperatures, they're running the 6-inch splitter. Most guys out here running the 4-inch splitter, but he's giving up a little bit of something in the draft so that 6-inch splitter can spray some more air into the grill.
Yeah, a lot of people talked about the splitter like Mike Massaro was just talking about. It's that piece on the very bottom of the car. It's adjustable. It can go forward all the way out to 6 inches or come all the way back to 4 inches. A lot of the drivers are saying if it's back, it's a little quicker. But if it's forward, you can cool the engine better. So it's about a 50-50 split out there today with these competitors.
There have been 6 lead changes among 5 different cars, and we may have another one here in just 7 laps. That's how competitive it already is. And now they go 4 wide across the stripe at Talladega. Bottom of the racetrack, Robbie Gordon is the Ford. Behind him is a Toyota, the 55. Then comes Tony Stewart in the Chevrolet. Wide battle in the turn. Casey Kane in the 9 car. Behind him, the 43 of Bobby Labonte. They are the meat in that sandwich as they come sailing by now at over 190 miles an hour.
You can tell right now they've been running single file that last pit stop, before that last pit stop, and now they're trying to make some passes. These guys are getting a little impatient from running single file. As a race car driver, you just don't want to sit there and ride.
Back up front, Denny Hamlin is the leader. Now his teammate, Tony Stewart, right behind him in the 20 car, has yet to lead a lap today. And you lead a lap, folks, you get those 5 bonus points, and Tony Stewart knows he needs those points right now.
These guys are content to run single file a little while ago, but do you think if these guys looking for these 5 points, they're not going to be too content to just sit there. They're going to try to pass and maybe get these 5 points.
Yeah, especially Tony Stewart. He wants to get down right now and get those 5 points because he got a little behind last week in Kansas City with what happened there, and he needs all the points he can get.
The chase ticker up top of your screen will show you at the very top, shows you who's running where on the racetrack, and here, of course, the chase ticker shows you where they are currently in the chase for the Nextel Cup.
Here they are again running that high line, all of them single file up in the upper groove.
What about Tony Raines? Give a call to Tony, who's driving not only for a victory, but driving to get noticed and maybe get a ride for 2008.
Well, we talked about Tony Raines a lot, you know, because he's going to lose this ride. But, you know, here's a guy who kept this car up in the points, and he's always done a good job except the team's just wanting more, but he's doing good right now.
He's got him a fast hot rod today.
He really does. I mean, he's got this car running great. He's staying out of trouble and just following everybody else. And right now, the only line's the top lane.
Second place, Tony Stewart, following his teammate Denny Hamlin. More on the 20 car with Dave.
And Jerry, you guys mentioned last week, he radioed to his team just before the race started. You know what? It's an understatement to say last week didn't work out so well. But, you know, he commented this week to the press and on his Sirius satellite radio show that he thought NASCAR did the right thing when they restarted the race, when they gave the fans what they were looking for. They did the right thing. He says, I don't want weather to be a determining factor in these final 10 races, even though it didn't work out for us. The one thing he does need to do, you guys brought that up as well, he needs to get up in front at some point and get those 5 extra bonus points.
Yeah, Dave, coming off that disappointment of a week ago where Tony Stewart finished back in 39th position, now following his current teammate and right in front of the 5 car. That's his teammate for next year, Kyle Busch.
Talk about teammates. I remember this 11 and 20 at Daytona, the last restrictor plate race running up front. And I think maybe Tony said, I'm going to cool it a little bit here today, and I'll get those 5 points before the day's over.
You know, it's amazing that Tony's not talking on the radio back and forth to 11 car going, hey, let me lead a lap here. You know, I'll get back in line if I can, but I want to get this 5 points now. I might not get it later.
If you're in the 20 car, do you do that? Do you make that request through your crew chief to the 11?
Absolutely. I'm on the radio right now going, hey, tell Denny that I want to get 5 points, and when I get them, I'll give him the position back. And what's going to happen, the 5 car needs a guard for him, but he can't because he's on a different team now. If that was next year, they could all 3 be talking, but right now, can't get her done.
The 15 car of Paul Menard. Now remember, that's one of the DEI cars, has the same engine package that Dale Earnhardt has on board, so you know it's stout. Take a look at our sprint speed lap and look at Paul Menard. Is he sprinting somewhere in a hurry? His last lap, 194.6 miles per hour. He's in a hurry.
That draft's worth a ton, especially when you get back in a group and you've got this one big group in front of you and you're the head of the next one. You can just zoom up through there in that vacuum.
Yeah, and especially if you use it correctly, too. And he did. He was almost 2 miles per hour faster, so he knows how to get her done.
72 laps of 188. There have been 20 lead changes among 13 different drivers.
But today they're so worried about the car tomorrow. They'll be an easy out there.
There's got to be so many guys out here wondering, how am I going to get to the front? The only way to know is to get out here and mix it up with these guys and try to figure out, who do I need to run with? What line do I need to be in? And you can't do that just in their riding single file. They got to get out here and race.
Well, one guy I don't think is going to play around much longer is the 55 car, Michael Waltrip. He's got a good car. He's got something to prove. He's had some bad luck. He wants to win this race bad, so I expect him to really get it on.
Getting shuffled a little bit right here, trying to make this inside lane work. He's been working that bottom line of the racetrack, trying to make it work.
Michael Waltrip, it has been 144 races since his last win that came here at this racetrack in September of 2003. He was the pole sitter, driving that Toyota there in the middle. 27 car, Jacques Villeneuve has had some contact with the wall.
Looks like he's got the right front fender bent in.
Side's flat a little bit. All right, just around against the wall. I don't know. I don't smell any.
Might need to get that car in and get some right sides. Here goes Tony Stewart.
Tony Stewart goes back to the front. Bobby Labonte behind him in the 43. Juan Pablo Montoya lines up right in front of Reed Sorensen, so a Dodge parade behind Stewart.
And take a look at Reed Sorensen again. This kid's been solid all day long, not making any mistakes. Been one of the fastest guys in the Ganassi camp with Felix Sabates. See him hooked up with his teammate, Juan Pablo up top.
How about Johnny Sauter? Give a call to Johnny. Remember, he had that great run at Richmond on the 3/4 mile short track with a top 5 finish. He's leading that draft with Elliott Sadler and Denny Hamlin right behind him in the middle group.
Well, right now you're seeing 43, the world's best drivers out there, and you got to include Johnny Sauter involved in that because of what he's done in the past. And he's looking great right now again.
Gets a good little jump right there. This center line looks like it's organized pretty well. Got Dale Earnhardt Jr. in that center lane.
A lot of times when you're in the center lane, the aerodynamics can't attach to the rear spoiler as good, and it lets you run faster. The air actually can't attach. Makes the air dam in the rear spoiler, which in this case is the rear wing, a little less effective. Makes you go faster in the straightaway.
Uh-oh, got a little bump drafted in the corner right here, and I'm sure this is just a chain reaction deal. You saw the guys going down the straightaway, wiggling back and forth, and that was because they were actually touching and wiggling, moving the back of the car in front of them.
And this is where hand signals is very, very important. They're so tight right now. They want to use their hand signals, but the driver behind, like we talked earlier, can't really see them that good. This closing rate is something they've really got to be careful with right now.
Moving in on 50 laps to go. Tony Stewart now getting passed, or almost getting passed, by his teammate. They are 3 wide. There were 10 cars in the outside lane, 9 in the middle, and 8 in the inside.
Wow, I tell you, Johnny Sauter cut it really close on Tony Stewart.
Well, they're all really close right now. There's just not much room for error at the moment. This is the tightest we've seen them all day long. And now you see the lap cars, Joe Nemechek on the bottom. He's just dying to get out of the way right now.
Riding along with Denny Hamlin, bump drafting the 19 of Elliott Sadler, trying to push him by. And the 8 car showing smoke, the engine. The engine woes have bitten the 3rd car today, and it is the 8 car of Dale Earnhardt Jr.
Another DEI Richard Childress engine.
Stay in the middle. Still got cars inside and outside there.
Caution is out here. They're just going to have to clean this mess up, make sure there's nothing on the racetrack.
It's 3 of the big Chevrolet teams today with the same engine partnership having problems. This has got to be killing Richard Childress right now.
Dale Earnhardt Jr., the 3rd of the 7 cars that have the same engine combination. We're told, is there some potential damage on the 24 car from when everyone was trying to whoa up behind that 8 car with the engine problem? I'll show you what happened to Dale Earnhardt Jr. here a moment ago, right side of your screen.
And look at that, a real compacted draft, really tight the draft. Engines are really singing right now. Big RPMs in this tight draft.
Boy, when this happens, that motor just stops running, and now these guys have to find somewhere to go.
And look at Michael Waltrip. He's totally blind, and he finally gets some vision. He gets around the outside of Dale Jr. Let's take a look from the onboard of Michael Waltrip, what it looks like.
And air just buffeting around there. That smoke comes. You can't
Gotta
really
blow
see.
that motor. Just hold what you got. Keep coming. Keep coming. Caution's out. Caution's out. Caution's out.
It was the 44 car that got the damage, not the 24. Spotters were saying there's damage on a car, and here it is, Dale Jarrett, who was just trying to ride back there and stay out of trouble to be able to make his move with this Toyota, which has been very strong, biding his time, and it just it wasn't meant to be.
And he was doing a great job doing that. He was 20th when I last glanced at Dale Jr. or Dale Jarrett, staying out of the way right there, riding along, doing what he had to do. Gets caught up in his misfortune here.
6 DNF due to engine problems for Dale Earnhardt Jr. in 2007. 4th in the last 11 races, and that kind of problem is what the reason he's not in the chase, because otherwise he's run very, very well.
And this one is a heartbreaker for that team, because this was one race that they've felt so confident coming in, and to have that engine problem, I know it's got to be really disheartening for
Yeah,
these guys.
last race for Tony Eury Jr. at this track with the DEI team. Now he's moving over to Hendrick. And you got to feel bad for Dale Jr. because, Jerry, you hit it on the head. If he wouldn't have these engine problems, he'd have been in the chase for the championship. He might even be leading the points right now, because every time I look at that car, he's in the top 5.
Dale Jarrett, who has run twice here, open to get a chance to maybe go to victory lane today. His day comes up short. Here come the Budweiser guys. Now they know they're losing their leader after today, Tony Eury Jr. You just mentioned the cousin and crew chief, longtime cousin of a crew chief, should say, for Dale Earnhardt Jr. going over to Hendrick Motorsports after this weekend. Blown engines today. There are the laps. Jeff Burton, the first victim. Martin Truex, and the latest, of course, Dale Earnhardt Jr. And still 4 more cars on the track with the same engine package. That's Harvick, Boyer, Menard, and Eric Almirola. Dale out of the car, surveying the damage, trying to catch his breath after hanging on for 137 laps. The pits will be open here. We are 51 laps away from the checkered flag. Pit stops become the business on pit road. Here's Dave.
And the Casey Kane car having a great run today. Casey said something happened good last week at Kansas. It's happening good this week too at Talladega. 2 right sides is all, Jamie.
And Brian Vickers pulls into his pit box. They just yelled last command was fuel only. They're not taking tires on this 83. Said it's a great car. You see them, they're going to push them off because of transmission issues. Let's go to Allen.
Bottom left frame, Elliott Sadler, fuel only on the 19th car, sending him out, telling him to watch his outside, and clears the cars around him.
Race off of pit road. Johnny Sauter gains a spot. Will leave there. Elliott Sadler up 3. You see Bobby Labonte up 5 positions. Great job by the 43 crew for the King Richard Petty. .49 laps to go at Talladega. Over 150,000 die-hard stock car fans on their feet. 24 car, Jeff Gordon coming down pit road.
This is very unexpected right here. He's going to lose. He's going to absolutely lose the draft and probably lose a lap. It's a penalty, a pit road penalty, because they were removing equipment.
Watch the speed. We're going to get a yellow. Watch the speed. Watch the speed.
That was certainly a penalty from NASCAR for removing equipment from the pit stall.
And he's trying to pump up his driver now. Right now, you heard him talking. We're going to get a caution. Don't speed down pit road. Don't get us another one. So Jeff Gordon right now is on a hot seat.
Tony Stewart shuffling toward the front now. He takes the lead, pulls down right in front of the 9 car of Casey Kane. There's Juan Pablo Montoya behind Kane. Then comes Sauter.
Man, I have been impressed with that Juan Pablo Montoya, man. He has been making aggressive moves. He's got a great race car. And now he's hooked up with one of his other Dodge teammates there with Elliott Sadler.
And
I'm sorry, Casey Kane in the 9.
You say Casey Kane in the 9 and Montoya. The Dodge engines have been really good today. We talk about this car tomorrow. And Montoya, he's had enough experience right now, Andy. He gets Talladega. He understands how to run this track.
Let's show you what happened with Jeff Gordon. Now, he was serving a pass-through penalty at 55 miles an hour. Now, watch as Jimmy pulls out. Watch the hose there.
See, that hose looks like it hooks the rear bumper, and the air wrench, it pulls the air wrench completely out of the pit box. And NASCAR imposed a penalty on these guys. See here, the tire changer's finished. He's holding his air hose, and he gets hung right there in that wheel opening. Man, that's a tough break for those guys.
Oh,
right
man,
there.
that air wrench about 3 foot out of the pit box. But, hey, there's no tolerance in NASCAR. You know, if you're out of the box, you're out of the box. And that's one thing I can tell about. They're consistent in their calls. They really are. But, boy, that's hard to take. Really hard to take.
46 laps to go, and the latest heartbreak in terms of engine troubles was Dale Earnhardt Jr., who's standing by with Dave Burns.
And with Dale Earnhardt Jr. now, who is managing a smile. I know it must be tough, though, because this is a place you could win.
It ain't that bad, you know. I mean, if this is the worst thing that could have happened. I mean, we had a good day, and we're all in one piece, and you know, we've had a string of motor failures today with the 31 and the 1, but you know, they built good stuff. We tested down here. We all worked really hard together, and tried to bring a good package. I'm just really proud of all that effort, how our car ran today, and proud of my team. We had a good car. We led some. We got the people on their feet, and I was hoping to win it. I thought I could win it. So, you know, you got to be around the team. We just had some tough luck, but I'm a little, you know, more concerned. I feel really bad for Martin because they got a great team to win this championship, and that hurt worse actually seeing his motor break. But we'll be all right.
Now talk about the day, Junior, just in terms of racing that car on this track. Looked like you had a handle on it.
Yeah, what do y'all think? You know, right?
Like a good show.
Really? I don't know what you're watching. All that around the top, ain't that boring?
Well, single file, but you were just starting to mix it up. What were you finding as far as dicing with the other cars?
Get to the lead so we could all run at the top single file. That's all we're trying to do. I don't think it's where it needs to be right now. There's obviously probably another way to get the package to do better. It's not necessarily the COT itself, just the combination of the wicker and the plate, probably just getting the right combination. And you know, they didn't have any prior idea of how this was going to go, so you know, we got to take it easy on NASCAR. Can't be hard on them, but it was really boring riding up there, first, second, fourth, whatever. You just had nothing going on, you know, and just to be sitting here and doing nothing for no reason just didn't make any sense to me. But I liked it when we were battling and racing, and that's why when we got in the back, we kept trying to go to the bottom to get to the front.
Oh, trouble on the racetrack, trouble way up high, and we now have the big one here with 44 laps to go, the 5 car involved. McMurray is there, Rudiman is involved.
Yeah, my car got it.
A lot of tore-up race cars here.
Chase contender Kyle Busch, he's in it. Major damage on the number 5 Chevrolet of his car. Jamie McMurray with the front end knocked out. He's going good. He's window net still up on the car. He's okay. A lot of damage.
15, Paul Menard involved. Another one of the DEI cars. 00, you see getting it righted there. That is David Rudeman. He is involved. There's the 00 of Rudeman at that great qualifying run. Best career start in a Cup car this weekend. Heavily damaged, trying to limp back to pit road.
You just wonder when this was going to start to happen. They're just starting to get a little anxious out there. Laps are winding down. 43 laps to go. And talking about maybe running close to 40 laps on fuel. These guys might come down pit road again now. Another splash of gas and try to make it on fuel.
Let's show you what happened. Watch the 43 car. Watch the 12 in front of the 43 of Bobby Labonte.
It's like Bobby Labonte just lost the car up against the wall.
Yeah, Bobby really didn't have anybody around him. It looks like they just maybe a possibility a right front tire went down or the car just got flat out from underneath him and got loose. It just took off.
As much grip as these cars have, as good as they handle, I can't believe that you just actually lose the car like that without having some kind of a problem.
Car just abruptly turned left. It came all the way down and got Kyle Busch. That chain reaction then gets Robbie Gordon and then several others.
And Matt Kenseth's got a big piece of that. Got his car tore up, got the right front corner damage on Matt Kenseth's car from this last accident. So we got 2 chase contenders tore up right now because of this latest incident.
Oh, Bobby just turned around on him. I don't really get why that happened like that.
Yeah, that was really peculiar.
20 car in, Tony Stewart topping up.
Go. These guys are setting up now for the last run.
Others coming on, 43 laps to go. Let's go down to Mike.
And guys, we're trying to catch up with Brian Vickers right now. He's sitting inside his car. Team's still going to work. And Kurt Busch on pit road going to service as we're covering the garage right now, guys, just trying to gather some of these victims.
And Denny Hamlin got some damage in the accident. You're looking at the left side of the car. The right rear corner of this 11 machine has been torn apart in this accident. They've changed the tires. Now you see the crew going back around to the right side to try and fix the damage. One of the championship chasers came on the radio right after the wreck and said, "We're in it, we're in it. Gosh, we're in it."
Another driver having engine troubles in that same field, the 29 car. Mike?
And Doc, I spoke with engine tuner Ron Liddell for the 29 car a little bit earlier. He told me there were no concerns until the 8 blew up. When that happened, he walked down off the pit box, tapped me on the shoulder and said, "Now I'm worried." You can see why. The 29 car having some problems. They may have lost a cylinder.
So now 4 of the 7 cars are having trouble. Make it 5 with Paul Menard, who did not have an engine trouble. He was involved in the big one. Tony Stewart will lead him down. It'll be 22 laps to go when they cross the start-finish line. And folks, the top 8 drivers have never won at Talladega, Stewart included. And one of those top 8 is Mike Wallace driving the 88 car.
Robert Yates put him in the 88 car. He feels like Mike is one of the best restrictor plate drivers in the country.
He is one of the best restrictor plate racers. He's driven for me, and I'll tell you, he can get it done when it comes time here.
It is only Mike's 2nd Cup start this year, folks. He ran the Daytona 500 and finished 4th all the way from 22nd starting spot, and he is running currently in 6th position.
When you take a look at the 48 car, Jimmy Johnson at the bottom of the racetrack, they are out of time right now with 22 laps to go, and it's time to get to the front. And he is doing that. But take a look at Michael Waltrip. He made a dicey move there with the 19 car, a Sadler. These guys are starting to crank it up now.
Sadler just squeezed his way up in that outside lane. Looked like Michael had to get out of the throttle just a little bit.
Well, earlier today, we saw Michael Waltrip go in the bottom lane and work himself all the way up to the front. He was the one leading that train. He's doing it again now.
1 Chevrolet followed by 4 hungry Dodges. That's 1st through 5th. Stewart the lone Chevy, Newman, Kurt Busch, Montoya, and Casey Kane in Dodges.
You see Michael get back up in the top lane right there with the 48 now back on the bottom. They've got to make something happen here. They've got to get to the bottom. The top's not going to go anywhere.
Looks like these guys up front are just locked in line up against that wall.
Yeah, and if you're locked in line up against the wall, there's no room to pass in the top, that's for sure. So these guys know it. Look at Dave Blaney right now. He's getting down out of that top lane into the bottom. There he is in the Caterpillar car with Jimmy Johnson behind him. They're trying to make some tracks.
Dave Blaney getting back up there, becoming a factor in the 22 car. Blaney, who had the pit road speeding violation. Whoa, up against the wall. One car goes up and rubs the concrete. That backpack is going to run him down, and they are running him down. Blaney leading him up there. There's the 22 car. Blaney pulling the fellow Toyota driver, Michael Waltrip, to catch this pack of 12 cars.
And he kind of hung out the 48 car of Jimmy Johnson. Jimmy was hooked up behind him. He just shot him, left Jimmy stopped on the bottom. I'm not sure this war is over between those two. I think Jimmy's got to stay put and go for it.
Out the back of the 96 car, you see Jimmy Johnson in the 48. Now he's becoming a factor. This lead draft just doubled in size.
And right now, if this race would end right now to 24, of Jeff Gordon's got the lead in the points by 12 points over teammate Jimmy Johnson.
Michael Waltrip hung out to dry on the inside of the racetrack, got down out of the draft, and they're going sailing right by.
He was just trying to get something going here, trying to get maybe some people to go with him, pulled out of line. Nobody went with him.
And you figured if anything was going to happen, Michael was going to be the one. He did it earlier, and it worked for him. Took a little taste of it this time, and they said, too early, pal. We're not going with you right now.
I don't think you're going to see anything happen, really, until you see these front guys start breaking apart. Then these back guys will catch right up, and it'll get dicey.
Yeah, but Andy, if they're going to do it, they're going to have to do it with at least 10 to go, so they got enough time to get it done.
The 24 car of Jeff Gordon on the lead lap in 9th position. Remember, he is our points leader as of right now. You see the chase ticker at the top of your screen, and right above that, the race ticker telling you where your favorite drivers are running here as the laps are winding down. More on Jeff Gordon with Alan.
Jeff Gordon has run around at the back of this field all day long, Doc, including when they got that penalty for the equipment and crew member out of the box back at lap number 153. So now Gordon got the caution, got back up into the middle of the pack, and his team's thinking strategy from here on out.
Stephanie said if you drop down there, that he'll drop down there too. Yeah, it's going to be a while. I don't know. We'll just have to wait and see. If it shuffles, then we go. If it doesn't, we wait.
That's right, buddy. I think you're 100% on the money there. We need to be patient.
I agree. I'm going to try to stay right here.
Sure. You know best, buddy.
Leave it in the driver's hands, and why not? He's had a lot of success here at this racetrack, a 5-time winner here. Jeff Gordon has played it cool all day. Will he be hot when it counts the most?
It's a gamble. It's when do you go and when don't you go. Jeff Gordon saying right now he thinks it's a little too early. I mean, I could see if he went down by himself, they just closed that hole up, he'd go dead to the back of the pack. That'd be tough to get back up front.
If anybody knows, Jeff Gordon knows how to do it here at Talladega. Now, he thinks it's a little bit early. He's probably going to wait just a little while. Hopefully, he can get with his teammate, Jimmy Johnson, maybe Casey Mears. They get hooked up here at the end of the race.
We're talking about Juan Montoya again. Look at their 4th position, hanging in with that Chip Ganassi, Felix Abada's team. And what about Reed Sorensen again? 8th position, he's holding in tight. It's been strong cars.
Those top 8 drivers have never won at Talladega. Stewart's never won here. Ryan Newman, Kurt Busch, Montoya, Kane, Mike Wallace, Johnny Sauter, Reed Sorensen. Those 8 guys have never been to victory lane at Talladega, and it could be among any of those guys if it's a typical Talladega finish.
Here we got something going down on the bottom. We got the 22 car, Dave Blaney, and the 48 car, Jimmy Johnson, his teammate Casey Mears, and the 25 car. Now they're making some tracks.
Hey guys, these guys are getting in what we call draft lock. They're getting really bumper to bumper. These 2 cars becoming one, and right now they're definitely the fastest on the racetrack. Jamie?
Well, with 16 laps to go, Chad Canals, crew chief for Jimmy Johnson, just came over the radio and said that 25, Casey Mears, your teammate, is coming. They drop down to the inside, as you see there, and they're looking to make a force to go forward to catch up with Jeff Gordon, as you heard Alan Bestwick mention. So watch these Hendrick cars, guys, try to get together and use teamwork to get to the front.
All right, you see the 70 come down now. Johnny Sauter, the last time by, Dave Blaney, 49.40 with his lap speed compared to a 50.01 of the leader, so 0.6 of a second faster. And here comes Johnson up the middle.
And now the politics of the draft are really starting to come to the surface.
And you know, the politics, there's no politics. Now it's each guy for himself. Go for it, get it done. 15 laps to go.
Jimmy Johnson getting help, as you heard Jamie say, from teammate Casey Mears back there. They hung the 70 car out to dry.
And now you see the 48 car, Jimmy Johnson, moved up in that outside lane. Got a little sniff from those lead guys and pulled back down in front of Casey Mears. These guys got a little bit of run on these front guys.
For a little while, it looked like the 48 was going to hang his own teammate out. Thought better of that. Got back to the bottom. And look how they're hooked up in that bottom lane now. They're flat, making some speed right now. I call that trucking. Those cats are trucking right now.
They can just get hooked up, just like this right here. If they can just get bumper to bumper.
That's textbook, man. That's the way you got to do it.
Jimmy Johnson, excuse me, Rusty, 0.3 of a second quicker a lap than is the leader, Tony Stewart, and he is coming in a hurry.
If they stay patient, stay hooked up, they're going to get to the front.
Look at Stewart go to the bottom.
Hey, Stewart knows it. That bottom's quick right now, and Tony, look at it, top to the bottom, bottom to the top.
Whoa, that move might have cost him right there. He went to the bottom and across the top, and he's got no help now. The two Penske cars will hook up and go by Tony Stewart.
This car's big, but it's not big enough to block the whole racetrack.
Bottom clear to the top.
Whoa! Contact, the 96 car, Tony Raines involved.
And Michael Waltrip's in it after such a good run. Pole sitter involved in the accident also.
Lap 175, there's the damage on the 16 car. Last week's winner, Greg Biffle.
That's too bad for Michael. Man, he had a good car.
He had a great car. Take a look at Biffle.
He's tired, Mike.
Yeah, I blew it right in front.
Biffle's hanging out in the back, trying to stay out of trouble. He gets himself involved in it.
Watch the contact here. Now, you heard Michael Waltrip say right front, watching her right up across the racetrack.
Just too bad he clipped Elliott Sadler in the process. When that tire went down, he just took off straight right. Poor Tony Raines, too, got caught up in this.
4 wide. Hold her straight there. Hold her straight. Caution's out. Caution's out.
Back at Talladega, pace car pulling away. It's going to be an 8-lap shootout here. Newman, Busch, two Penske drivers. Remember, Roger Penske has never won a restrictor plate race. Won Pablo Montoya. He finished second at the Brickyard 400 for Ganassi and Sabatis. Jimmy Johnson back in 4th spot. Here they come to the green flag. 4 Dodges in the top 5. That's the 27 car that was being shown in 19th position. Jacques Villeneuve, despite contact with the wall and a black flag for radio problems, was still being shown on the lead lap in the top 20.
He's done a really good job today, kept the car out of trouble.
Here comes Stewart.
And he's got to do it right now with 8 laps to go. They got to get this second lane working right now. Dave?
Michael Waltrip stands by outside his Toyota that tried to win today. Michael, what happened in turn 1?
Just had a flat tire. Went in there and it went down on the inner liner and started to turn, and it just blew the rest of the way out. Unfortunate, the Napa Best Western Klausner Furniture Camry was good, and I was having a great time. It was fun to be up front again. It's a much better view up there.
He started up front, ended the day early, guys, but a great day for the 55.
Top 5 single file, but they are 3 wide, mixing it up in that second pass. 6th on back. Jeff Gordon is there. Jimmy Johnson, there's Jeff Gordon in front of Casey Mears, his teammate.
And they got to stay hooked bumper to bumper right now. Mike Wallace up in the wall, holds on to it. Skims the right rear quarter panel up in the car. Doesn't lose it. Does a good job holding on to that car.
Great job by Mike Wallace to hang on. There goes Kevin Harvick sailing by.
So right now, Stewart and Casey Mears back in what was the second pack, trying to get some speed and caught back up. These guys are lining back up single file. And if they stay there like that, nobody's going to pass anybody. Somebody's got to make a move here.
These 3 Dodges out front. These Dodge motors are really strong.
We talked earlier about how Ray Everham was telling us that the power band of the Dodge engine really suits this RPM range. Dodgers are running great today.
Folks, Dodge is due in 76 races here at Talladega. Dodge has only won 3 times. They won in 1969. Richard Brickhouse did it. Richard Petty won in 74. And Dave Marcus won in 76. And here comes the bottom line, though. Jimmy Johnson in the Chevy now, trying to move to the inside, and his teammates right behind him. There's Gordon, Mears, and of course Tony Stewart.
And you see the two teammates of Ryan Newman and Kurt Busch up top. Well, guess what? In the bottom lane, they got 3 teammates lined up, and 3 are generally better than 2. And they're getting hooked up in draft lock. Take a look at the 48 of Jimmy Johnson and all the Hendrick guys right to the front.
4 Dodges up high, 4 Chevrolets down low. And Jimmy Johnson gets pushed right by the 12 car of Newman to take the lead.
Newman and Busch got to figure what just happened right there, man. We were just leading the race. We just got shuffled.
The 25 is basically blocking a little bit right now for the 24. He's got to help his teammates out. He can't move. If he moves, he's going to go to the back of the pack, and then he's got to deal with Tony Stewart. And none of them want to deal with him right now.
They want to win a race, but they also want to win the chase for the Nextel Cup. Mears looking. Here's Tony Stewart looking to the inside. He shoves Mears up high. Stewart takes a spot away.
And now the game's getting ready to change right now. The top lane with the 12 and the 2 could get hooked back up, but Mears is out of it right now. Back to the bottom. And now they got to worry about the 20 now.
Mears just blinked. He looked to the outside just for 1 second. Tony Stewart took that spot.
Now Jeff Gordon right on the rear bumper. Gordon, who's hung at the back of the pack throughout the day to try to stay safe. Gordon there watching the 20 car.
Here comes Stewart on the outside.
No help right now.
Oh, this is not looking good right now. See the 12 and the 2 lining up behind Stewart. And they got a lot of momentum on that top side. It's anybody's game right now.
Tony Stewart in the middle there doesn't have a lot of drafting help. Has trying to get back in line. Blaney won't let him. Edwards won't let him. Hamlin won't let him.
Here comes the Dodge Surge on the top.
Newman, Busch, Montoya, 3 Dodges hooked up nose to tail, trying to reel in the Chevy brigade on the left side.
Just about the time you thought you had the top lane clear, here comes the top lane back right now. And Jimmy Johnson and Gordon got to deal with the really strong Penske cars right now.
3 laps to go in this crowd of over 150,000 on their feet. Give a call to Tony Raines in that wreck a little while ago, still hanging on to the 96 car. Great job for Tony Raines back there in the DLP Chevy.
Tony Stewart kind of gets shuffled up in the top lane behind Kurt Busch right now. This is the very first time for the COT cars, Andy. I mean, what are these drivers going to do? You know, I never drove one of these cars before, and this is the first time for these guys here. What type of move you want to make, I think, is a big question.
Well, it looks to me like Jimmy Johnson's got it, pretty well in hand, but you got to think that Jeff Gordon sitting back there, he's making his plans for the last lap here. Two laps to go.
Right now with the 48 car, Jimmy Johnson leading. On the last lap, he's going to have to throw his teammate away. He's just going to block these guys off. And heck with the relationship right now. When I see the white flag, it's game over, baby. I'm looking after myself right now.
When they tested here, they said, we do not want to be the lead car in the draft because you're a sitting duck. Today, it's worked both ways. You've been able to stay there. You've been passed pretty easily. What are these guys going to do?
That last time by, you saw the 22 car, Dave Blaney, really give a good shove right in front of Jeff Gordon. Jeff Gordon has really got a good shove by Blaney that time, and that's what Gordon needed. Jimmy Johnson doing a great job right here, using that draft to his advantage, watching that mirror, keeping that 24 car square in his bumper.
197 miles an hour. They take the white flag 3 wide. Here comes Tony Stewart up on the high side.
And the white flag is out. It's waving 3 wide.
Jimmy Johnson, Jeff Gordon trying to hang on the bottom, drafting help from behind with Blaney in the Toyota. Up high, Tony Stewart gets help from Casey Kane.
That's 4 wide down the back straightaway. Hamlin on the inside. Here comes Gordon on the outside.
Jeff Gordon has moved up in front of Tony Stewart to get the push by. Jeff Gordon, a 5-time Talladega winner. He knows how to get it done. He hung at the back of the pack all day long. He pulls up, and Tony Stewart pushes him by as they come down. Jeff Gordon trying to hang on. 2 wide, 3 wide behind him. Gordon on the bottom of the racetrack. Jimmy Johnson second, and Jeff Gordon takes the win at Talladega.
Unbelievable, the car tomorrow. Great race at the very end. Man, what a move out of Jeff Gordon. He just threw his teammate out, went for it by himself.
I knew he had something up his sleeve. I didn't know what it was.
Yeah!
Steve Letarte said, stay calm. We have another
Great job,
caution.
Look at the emotion of Jeff Gordon in the car.
What a win for Jeff Gordon.
Buddy, you did it for us, buddy. You're the man. This team is awesome. Way to hang in there all day. Woo! Man, I'm excited.
And he better be excited. I'd be excited too. All his teammates work together. Help them win that race, guys.
He got the point lead too.
Let's go down to Jamie Little.
Now joined by crew chief Steve Letarte. How about that finish? You guys hung back the whole day. Steve, talk about the plan and how it was executed.
Well, you know, first of all, I'd like to thank Shaq and also everybody on that Lowe's Chevrolet team. We work close together, and it's hard when we come to a place like this because that 48 was going to be hard to beat, but you know, we're all running for a championship. Hopefully we can work together the rest of the season real good. But, I mean, it's great. Guys from DuPont Chevrolet did a great job. 550 employees at Hendry Motorsports provided unbelievable speedway cars. Kept our chins up through qualifying, knew we'd be going the race, and the driver pulled us through.
You guys had that penalty here on pit road. How did you keep your driver calm and in this game?
That's the beauty of working with a four-time champion. We usually don't have to keep him calm. We just got to let him know how many laps to go. We got really lucky with the yellow, and we've been seeming to get lucky this year. We need to quit making the mistakes, so we don't need so much luck. But race 4-10's over. Hopefully we have 6 more good ones.
And Rick Hendrick, the owner down here, pumping his fist in the air, guys. Very happy crowd as they took over the points lead.
Jeff Gordon, folks, led 1 lap all day long. Actually, he led about a third of a lap, but it was the final third on lap 188.
And it was a right one, and right now he's got a 4-point lead over his teammate Jimmy Johnson, but Clint Boyer held in there. Clint Boyer still in third in the points.
12th plate victory for Jeff Gordon, his 80th series victory in NASCAR's Nextel Cup, and the first sweep at Talladega. Yes, he won back in April since Dale Earnhardt did it in 2002. Dale Earnhardt Jr. did it in 2002.
Man, what a race. What a racetrack.
It's like they just stayed patient for a long time, and finally they turned it loose, and they said it's time to run right now.
And here is our Chevy winning moment. Jeff pulls out in front of Tony, and watch this move by the 24 car. Across the track in front of the 20. Another Chevrolet for Tony Stewart to get that push by in the draft.
And that's when they say it's each guy for himself right there. And Jeff Gordon is shot right out in front of his teammate, Jimmy Johnson, in front of Stewart. And you know what? It kind of worked out because they finished first and second. They didn't get hung out too bad there.
Dave Blaney, great effort, finishing in third in the Toyota. Hamlin fourth, Newman fifth, Mears sixth, and Kurt Busch seventh with Tony Stewart then back in 8th position. Tony Raines, a great top 10 finish in 9th, and Reed Sorensen in 10th position. Gordon's 5th win in 2007, the first time he's won since the middle of June at Pocono. He becomes the all-time winningest driver in restrictor plate competition, his 12th win on the plate track.
And a wide smile on Jeff Gordon's face as he goes to give a big soaked hug to Carl and Rick Hendrick. Jeff, how did you get to the front?
I have no idea. This guy right here builds an awesome race car and has put together a heck of a race team. You know, we laid in the back and we didn't want to have to do it that way, you know, but this car is just a lot of unknowns. It's hairy out there, you know, and we just wanted to play it safe until it really counted. And what I don't understand is how I ever got by my teammate, because I was there in behind him and got, you know, a couple pushes, but when the 12 and I think the 2 were on the outside of me, I really was just kind of stuck there. But when they got 3 wide, I said, this is my opportunity. I got pushed from the 22, and I went with the momentum. Luckily, when I got high and Jimmy tried to block me, the 20 was there, had nowhere to go. He drilled me, and he's the one that pushed me to the front. So, yeah, that's what you got to do. You got to put that rear bumper in front of those other guys' bumper at the right time. And I got to thank DuPont Pepsi, of course, this awesome-looking race car. Deborah's here, designed it, and we invite all the fans to be a part of this. Hopefully, we'll do it again next year. But I don't know where to start. You know, GMAC, Nicorette, all the folks from Georgia Pacific, and Sparkle. Oh, amazing day, man.
Congratulations.
Thank you, thank you. I can keep going if you want.